Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? It's been a little while since I've done a video like this. Usually, I use my phone camera, or I just talk about a movie in a YouTube short, which is also my phone camera. But I don't normally make a video about a movie. I finally watched Transformers One yesterday. I did a reaction. Thank you everybody that watched the reaction. By the way, I know it wasn't like a it was like a watch along reaction and stuff. So some people were probably upset, like, "What? Where's the? I can't see anything. Where I'm blind? What happened? Did my vision go? Am I getting old?" No, you're not getting old. It's just there's no. I put a little bit there just so you could like, you know, sync up, but that's about it. Anyway, or I left a link, maybe, I don't know. Ooh. Anyway, so this movie I wanted to watch when it first came out. I was actually excited for it. I thought the first trailer, like at first I was like, and then I watched it a few more times. I was like, yeah, and then I watched it about 10 times in theaters. I was like, all right, I'm sick of seeing it. Come on. And then the second trailer really did a better job. I wish the second trailer was the first trailer because everybody was like, "Oh, it looks goofy and crap," and I thought it was gonna be goofy and stuff, which it would have been fine as long as it's actually fun and funny. But the second trailer actually did a good job of like balancing it. It's goofy and not goofy at the same time. And then the movie came out. Everybody was loving it. Everybody was really liking it, but it just didn't do that well. So I was like, damn, I should have saw it in theaters. Maybe if I saw the movie in theaters, it would have made $1 billion. See, it was my fault. Sorry, guys. But I finally did see it. Because Transformers. I did the Rise of the Beasts as a reaction. I was like, I might as well do Transformers 1. Oh, man. This movie was a joy. I'm just gonna tell you right here. Like, since yesterday, I've been almost only exclusively thinking about this movie. And, man, all right. So let's get right into it. Because this is not going to be a review. It's going to be like I don't even have notes or anything. I'm just talking. I'll say this. If I had to say anything that was a negative, and it's not really a negative, it's just that all right, you'll see. I think the first half is definitely not as good as the last half. I think the last half, and that's actually kind of rare. I feel like a lot of movies like get let down in the last half for me. Or like they start off really good and then they this is not one of those cases. This movie gets so much better. There really is a point where it gets from like, this is pretty good, I really like this. This is definitely better than pretty much every other Transformers movie, except maybe Bumblebee and I don't know, maybe the first Michael Bay one. I'll say it right here, I'm not a huge fan of the 80s movie. I was when I was a kid. I watched it again when it got re-released, and I was not a fan. Sorry. It was cool to see all these, but I don't know. I personally don't enjoy that movie. I will still say that movie's better than pretty much at least most of the Michael Bay movies. Yeah, it's just like I was like, this is good. This is really good. I don't see why everybody was like, oh my god, it's amazing. And I knew that the last half would probably be the point because we didn't get to the darker stuff yet. But I was just like, how good is that last half stuff going to be? And there was a transition point involving Megatron and Optimus, or I'm sorry, D16 and Orion Pax, where D16 says something, and it's like, whoa. And I feel like that really is a transition. It's like slowly getting to that transition point. And then that is where it really starts getting darker. And I do mean it gets darker. You see things that are just like, whoa. That, like, if you think, oh, Transformers is just for kids. I mean, it can be. Obviously, it can be for kids. But it can be for an older audience. And an older audience could appreciate it. And I think they nail that whole, like, division in their friendship. D16 and Orion Pax. I will say in the first half, there's a little bit too much, you're my bro. Yeah, you're my bro too. Fist bump. You're my bro. But I felt it for the most part. I actually like those two together. And I think both Chris Hemsworth as Orion and especially Brian Tyree Henry as D16 are great in this. Especially Brian Tyree Henry, because I think he does an amazing job of transitioning to the Megatron we all know towards the end. And I think they're both great in it. I think Chris Hemsworth also does a pretty decent Peter Cullen. Like, it's not quite Peter Cullen. You could tell he was just like, oh, I'm still going to sound like me, a young Optimus. But I'm going to slowly get into that voice towards the end. So he does do that towards the end, which I actually thought was well done. I don't know, maybe I have to hear it again, but when I was watching the reaction, I was like, that's because I was expecting him to do it at any point in the movie. And I thought he was doing it a little bit earlier, and then he stopped doing it. I was like, okay. And then at the end, he did. I was like, that was pretty good. That was actually good. It actually worked for me. But their relationship really is the key thing that works the most here. Because even though it might be a little cheesy and corny, that's kind of fitting for Transformers. And you do feel their friendship, and you do feel the division between them once things are being revealed. Which, to be fair, there's a lot of predictable stuff in this movie. Immediately, I predicted certain characters being not who they say they are. They're more than meets the eye, or I guess less than meets the eye, in certain cases. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. But I gotta say, the animation, oh, buddy. And I don't know what the hell some reviewers, IGN, were smoking when they said, like, oh, the action's just blah, blah, and yeah, and brain numbing. I'm like, what? I thought there's a action scene in the beginning of the movie involving a cave, which I was just like, there's a lot going on. It was kind of dark, and whatever. It was like not even a minute long action scene, and I didn't care for that one. So I was just like, okay, if the action's more like that, then I guess I could see. But pretty much every action scene after that I thought was great. Really cool. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. When they start transforming mid thing, and there's one part where Optimus or Orion uses his transformation to like cut somebody in half. I was like, that was so sick. There's a lot of really great action scenes. Some great, like, even cinematography, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's animated, but you can still have cinematography and animation. The camera work is great. The animation itself is excellent. I think it just looks great. I actually love the look of everything. It kind of reminds me of maybe a more kidified version, just the designs of all the character models of the Cybertron games that came out, which I love those games. I did reviews for those when I first came out, by the way. Go check them out. And sure, I may have gone back to watch the old Transformers cartoon since I was a kid, or even like Transformers Armada. Those were my two favorites. Beast Wars I love too. Don't get me wrong. Waspinator was the king. But yeah, like playing those games and watching this just made me go, man, fuck, I love Transformers. Transformers is so good. It's the same way how like people could still love He-Man. Like He-Man is goofy, but people could still love it as adults and stuff. But this, like, it's different because Transformers can get serious. Like the original cartoon, for the most part, has a lot of funny people cracking jokes, but it's still a serious series for the most part. It deals with serious shit, dude. Transformers Armada, I love all the Starscream stuff in that. Which, by the way, I didn't really love the Starscream stuff in this, admittedly, but to be fair, they're building up for more stuff in the future. In Transformers Armada is so good. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent here. But yeah, the animation's great. The voice cast does a great job as well. Not just Chris Hemsworth and Brian Tyree Henry. I think John Hamm as Sentinel Prime is really good. He's honing his Homelander in this performance for sure. Not that he plays Homelander, but I could actually see John Hamm if if they didn't cast Anthony Starr, I could see John Hamm as that for sure. Anthony Starr's amazing. So Scarlett Johansson's good. I think Keegan-Michael Key's good too, even though I feel like B is probably the most annoying character in this. He has some funny moments, but for the most part, I'm just like, eh. Yeah, I just love that because Bumblebee talked a good amount in the original stuff that I've watched that I remember Bumblebee from. But I want to say he didn't talk as much as he does here. Maybe I'm wrong because it's been a long time, but he talks a lot here. Maybe that was a joke because he doesn't talk almost at all in the Michael Bay movies or the Travis Knight Bumblebee movie. Maybe that was the joke, is that he talks too much in this, but he doesn't talk at all in the other, like, oh, you want him to talk? Here we go. Now he just continues to talk. He never stops. Yeah, I just found him kind of annoying. I didn't find everything he said was funny. And if your character is annoying and isn't really making you laugh the entire time, it's just like, he had some good moments though. The knife hand stuff was pretty good. I like how he just went kind of psychotic there. That was pretty good. And I'm not even spoiling anything. That was in the trailer. So, yeah, what else can I say about this movie? I think the last half really nails it. And I really want to talk about certain scenes. So I'll get into quick spoilers in a minute. But it's a very simple story. It really is. It's simple. People get together, or robots, get together, go on an adventure, find out things aren't as they seem. They have to stop the things that aren't as they seem from happening. And well, let's just say there might be some betrayals and some alliance shifting and stuff. I think you know where this is going. Like even the trailer knew, like you knew where it was going. You know where this is going, and it doesn't treat it like a surprise, but it does treat it very seriously. The division between the two characters. And I like the pacing for the most part. There's times where I feel like it's a little too fast, but it is animation, so I get that, you know, this can't be a 2.5 hour thing, or the budget would be crazy, and this movie would have bombed even more if it had a bigger budget, which really would have sucked. And actually, yeah, that's actually probably true, because if it was longer, that means less theater screenings and less kids that would want to see it because they hear it's 2.5 hours long. Yeah, I mean, I guess Spider-Man did well. And that was like, what, 2.5 hours, so. Across the Spider-Verse, I'm talking about. Isn't it 2.5 hours? It's like 2 hours and like 10, 15 minutes. Something like that. Yeah, so let's get to some spoilers just real quick, because I just want to talk about one, well, not one thing, multiple things, but the central division, but I keep saying the word division, I can't think of another word. Separation, I don't know. The rival, no, well, I mean, there's rivalry, I guess, towards the end, but it really doesn't, it kind of leaves it off for later, if there's a sequel, which, good lord, I hope there is. But of course, the whole point of the plot, alright, so Sentinel Prime ends up being the bad guy, unsurprising right there. Immediately when he showed up, he was like, hey guys, what's up, it's me. I was just like, Homelander, he's a bad guy. And I was like, yeah, he's a bad guy. And also, Sentinel Prime has been a bad guy in the past, but they could do something new, for sure. They don't need to, you know, it's not the first time Sentinel Prime has been a bad guy. Have you seen Transformers 3? No, Optimus! And I can't remember if he was the bad guy in the originals. I want to say maybe he was. I don't remember. So I'm not gonna lie. It's been. I was last time I watched Transformers, like the original series. I was probably maybe in my early double digits. How about that? I don't want to say the age because then it'll make me feel older. But even though that probably actually made me feel older than just saying the number, saying my early double digits. Oh, no. Anyway, but yeah, I think all right, so all that stuff, yeah, whatever. The story itself is simple. I didn't really care for all the Starscream stuff. I mentioned that earlier, and I didn't want to really talk about it too much because you don't see him a lot in the trailer. So I was just like, all right, what I want to talk about is kind of a spoiler. It's not really a spoiler, but it is scenes that I'm sure people would like to see themselves without me explaining it. But if we're in the spoiler section, then it's fine. Starscream is voiced by Steve Buscemi, who I think is an inspired choice, especially since like they do the thing later where like his voice box gets a little crushed, so his voice sounds a little like sharper, you know. So it's Steve Buscemi, but then he sounds like this. He sounds closer to what you think Starscream should sound like, which I thought was fun. My problem with Starscream is that he shows up, he's like the leader of the guard or whatever, and then Megatron beats him up, and then he's just like in the background like, eh. And that's really it. Like, I almost wish they didn't introduce Starscream. Or if, here's the thing I was thinking about. It's like a Koba situation. You ever watch Planet of the Apes movies? You had Rise of the Planet of the Apes where you had Koba there. And he was there, but he didn't really say anything. Obviously, he couldn't talk yet. So he's just kind of in the background, like lurking and stuff and looking sad and looking like abused. And they really, looking abused. And they're just kind of like, he's just kind of there, you know? And there's a darker story that they're obviously going to touch on later. I wish there was some like that here. Some people would say there is, but like Starscream shows up and then immediately gets his ass beat, which is fine because that's what Starscream should do against Megatron. And then he kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like I love Starscream as a character, so I was very upset to see like there's a little bit of that. I wish there was a little bit more towards the end, is what I'm trying to say. Just a little bit more of that. Like, at the end, Starscream's just like, Lord Megatron. And I get later on, that's when, like, Starscream really starts fucking over Megatron. I don't know. I just wanted a little bit more Starscream. That's really just a personal preference. I mean, the movie's only, like, what, an hour and 40 minutes long, so you can't have, like, all... You have to have the friendship, the betrayal, the central main bad guy, the other main bad guy, which is the Centennials. What the fuck are they called? The crispy taters. What are they called? The quintessence. It's the quintessence, right? Yeah. So you have to have those two. You have to have all the other side characters and stuff. And yeah. Also, I should say that they do a pretty good job of showing Cybertron it as like a bustling city and stuff, which was really, or at least the city of Cybertron looking very nice. And they also do a great job of having a variety of different locations on Cybertron. So you get like a forest area, you get like a, you know, like you get some ancient ruins, you got a big cave. So it's nice to see, like, even though Cybertron is a big metal, you know, planet, it's nice to see there's a bunch of other stuff on it that is, you know, interesting to look at. It actually felt like if they wanted to, they could do a video game based on this movie, and it would be like, oh, look, all these different levels. Oh, now we're in the forest area. Now we're here. Now we're there. I even made a reference or a joke to that in my review or in my reaction, and I was just like, that's actually probably true. That you could probably do that with this game or this movie as a game. But yeah, I think the strongest stuff really is the Megatron and Optimus stuff. The shift in tone is right when D16 finds out that Sentinel Prime is actually not a good guy. He's been built up this whole time as this good guy, and he's working for him, and like, oh boy, I can't wait to mine more stuff. Mine more energon for this guy, because he's great. And then he finds out it's all been a lie, because Sentinel Prime is actually a piece of shit. He's working with the Quintessence, and he killed all the Primes and stuff. He got them all killed except for Lawrence Fishburne's. Yeah, so it's like it's like a pretty damn good scene of him like telling Optimus, if I fucking see Sentinel Prime, I'm killing his ass. He's dead. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna show everybody that he's a bitch. And it's actually a really great scene. Him yelling, "I'm gonna kill him!" We're like, whoa! I mean, at this point, I'm not a stranger to Transformers movies having like dark moments like that, because almost every Michael fucking Bay movie has to have like some messed up scene in it somewhere. But it was still like, whoa, shit. And then I feel like right there, because it was already building up to that, right there is where the tonal shift really happens. And that's when the movie becomes like from an 8 out of 10 to like a 9 or a 10 in my eyes. It does a great job. It's still, the pace is still quick, but it actually works very well. The action's really good. The animation's great. The voice cast, especially Brian Tyree Henry at that point, do an amazing job. I think everything from there is just fucking gold, right, for the most part. I mean, again, there's some issues with the pacing. There's a quick scene where after a Megatron beats up Starscream, Sentinel Prime's crew shows up, and it's like so fast. It's like they show up, boom, there's some cool action. Everybody's taken down, everybody's captured, and they take everybody to the city, and it's just like all that happens in like a minute and a half. I was like, I was getting whiplash. I was like, oh shit, oh they're gone. Damn, bro. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I have a lot of negatives for the last half, but like really everything else is so fucking well done. The Optimus falling, Optimus gets shot by Megatron on mistake, and then he's about to fall off a cliff to his death, and then Megatron grabs him before he can fall to his death. And then he lets him go, and he says, I'm done saving your ass. And then Optimus falls to his death as Megatron's eyes go red. Dude, it's such a great scene. Great stuff. That whole, like, of course, that's when Optimus gets the Matrix of Leadership and becomes Optimus Prime. And then Megatron, of course, you know, they have their little scuffle there. And it's all great. Great stuff. All that happening, him turning into Optimus Prime while fucking Sentinel Prime's getting eviscerated. It's Sentinel Prime. That's Optimus. Sentinel Prime's getting eviscerated. It's so good. It's such a great scene. It's such a great last like 30, 40 minutes. And everything else was really good too. But the last 30, 40 minutes, fucking awesome. It's the best Transformer stuff out there. And I love Bumblebee. I really do. And I actually kind of enjoyed Rise of the Beast. I get some people didn't care for it. I enjoyed it. But yeah, easily this is the best. I think. You know. That's how I see it. Bumblebee is a lot of fun though. Very charming movie. I really like that. And Travis Knight, if Josh Cooley wasn't the director of this, I would have loved to see Travis Knight do this, because he's also, of course, an animation director. He does Leica stuff. He did Kubo and a Two-String, which is still the best Leica movie. And I love Coraline, so Kubo gotta be good. Anyway. There you go. That's it. That's my review, I guess. So, you know, I wasn't expecting to go that long, but I just wanted to talk about, because I didn't really talk about too much in the actual reaction, you know, post the reaction portion of that video, where I like give my final thoughts. But yeah, I thought it was great. So if I had to give it a score, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's great. It's fucking great. So, and it's so sad. This is the first Transformers movie to officially bomb at the box office, because The Last Night was a disappointment, but I don't think they considered it a disappointment, which is sad because it sucked. Bumblebee did pretty good. Transformers Rise of the Beast, I think, was a disappointment, but I think it still was not considered a complete bomb. This one, Unless it like starts making some more money out of nowhere, I don't see it. Like it's not even double its box office right now. It'll probably do well digitally and also merchandise wise. So hopefully, if that's the case, we get a sequel. But I'm not gonna hold my breath for that because that almost never happens. It feels like. I mean, the TMNT movie did, but like even that did better than this in the box office, and it also did huge marketing wise. And it also has a show. Make a show. I mean, you won't get Chris Hemsworth and Brian Tyree Henry back, most likely, or Scarlett Johansson, definitely not. Maybe Keegan Michael Key you might get back. But do a show. I'll watch it. Fuck. If it looks this good, or even like close to this good, I'll fucking watch it. Oh man. No, make it look this good. Come on. Make it look this good. Do it. People will fucking watch it. People will love it. I assure you, and it will be huge if you do it. This is gonna have a huge, like, I don't even say cult following. I have a feeling like it's just gonna be really popular on streaming, and especially when it hits the free streaming, not the buy it digitally, whenever that is. I'm assuming that'll be on Paramount Plus. Yeah, anyway, that's it. 9 out of 10. Bye.